Emotional vulnerability. What this topic does is it opens us up to the nature of how do I do a session for someone who is or isn't in that space of I'm emotionally vulnerable in this moment. We all have those moments where we feel like we are less than, or we are in struggle, or we are having issues with others around us, and we can't take it anymore, right? How do we lift ourselves up to a space of love for ourselves to say, I feel defeated, right? That's one aspect that some people will say vulnerability is a weakness, right? It's the strength of honesty in the moment that most of us would say, I get it. I'm honest about my vulnerabilities. I love my family. I hate my soul, right? That's where some people will say, I had to go to a place where people will say to themselves, my life does not reflect the beauty in my mindset. So what is it that I did in order to deserve this punishment on my body, on my mind, or in my experience of the world? I have moments where I'm so emotionally drained from the mindsets of those around me, right? We can often cast the blame to those that we create with, and that's the nature of I'm vulnerable to the energy of those around me. That can be part of it. But what do we say to those who say, I'm not going to show any weakness in the moment? I'm not going to let them beat me down, right? That's where a lot of people go. And it's just creating more and more of that idea of, oh, I'm not supposed to be vulnerable. Because what? It would show people the reality of what it takes to do a guided session with people that you don't agree with sometimes, or with those souls on the other line who may not align with who you are in one way, shape, or another. How many people know what it's like to have those visions of telepathy handed to you from those around you who don't agree with either who you are or how you are in this world? It's the nature of alignment that most of us are trying to figure out. How do I align with my soul that says I'm not going to let you feel the vibration of what? Christ embodiment? And then look at it as something negative. That's part of what I have to go through. In essence, this is going to shock some people because they're not going to understand that the messages of love are there for all souls. But in essence, when it becomes one of, I am not a preacher or a priestess, right? It means I have to find who I truly am in my mind. And I have to find those around me who can honor the vision of I'm not here to do the work of the devil either. Okay? Others are placing all kinds of havoc in our hearts for those of us who are on this path of enlightenment or awakening or awareness. And we become more and more in tune with the internal vibrations or the internal emotions. These are emotions that we're feeling. And we say, I'm not a robot. This is Brenda's vision. I'm not a robot. I still have my emotions. I still have my beautiful mindset that creates havoc for many around me, right? How do I do that? And I want you to think very carefully about those of us that will be indeed waking up. And when we say, I just want to be able to express my own soul's vision without someone telling me it's less than somebody else's. How do you get it through the minds of many that your souls are all beautiful where you are in this moment? Even in the moment of I'm struggled in my mind. Do I cry at night sometimes? Yes. Do I fear the devil from others' projections? Not really. I align with the system that basically says it's of the shadow vision, which means it's just a vibrational shift I have to work my way out of. Now, it doesn't mean I deny the emotions. I often have been known to repress them in my body. When I feel the alignment within my stomach of love, I know I'm on the right track. Okay? So I want to honor those who feel like I just don't want to be vulnerable anymore. I want to be empowered. That's a beautiful place it's like to vibrate in. So what does it mean? Sometimes we come across very strong in anger. Stop labeling me less than. That's the majority of where the world is. We're getting tired of those who say, I am, and then they say, you are not. Okay? I am loving. What I am not is a whipping post for somebody else's projections of hatred and evil. Get over it. That's the nature of the empowerment of soul, and you start to vibrate out of that nature of, I can't help it if you're trying to lift yourself up with someone else's vision, and then you find yourself in the hard luck of life. I can guide you to a better place. Okay? It's beautiful when you embody your soul. It's beautiful when you can get there. Maintaining the vibration around others can be difficult, and it's often seen as less than. To say, I love who I am and I'm weak in my mind in this moment. Beautiful expressions of love. For all of you who have that idea that you're weak, it's not weakness, it's a strength to say, I'm going to show my vulnerabilities in those moments. I'm not here to be, it's like the standard of the moment. There is a standard of living that people are trying to align with. And they say, I'm reaching out for all my love that I can, and I want to vibrate with those who can stand and deliver. That's where a lot of people are going. And so we have a lot of souls on the line who say, I want to be able to stand up and say the words of God or of Jesus or whatnot. We honor your vision, but in truth, this is about soul embodiment at its peak. It's not here forever, right? That's what most people will say. We'll vibrate into the beauty of who we are as a collective whole. And when you do that, it's not about saying I'm going to allow myself to project weakness onto others either. Okay? I'm not here to project weakness onto your hearts if you haven't done the vision of soul embodiment, or if you're just, I know I'm there, I just can't reach it yet. That's the beauty of, I'm going for it's like the good stuff. Okay? Higher than high. That's where many think that those visions are. They're very beautiful. Do they give you exactly what you need in the moment to get you out of a dangerous situation? Do they tell you when a friend's son is on the verge of death? Do they tell you in the moment you're beautiful and loved? Do they tell you in the moment that you are on the rise? And that's the nature of what those souls will come through with and say, it's not about saying anyone's vision of love is less than, but it's about saying what vision actually is going to lift me up in the moment when I need it fast. I'm not here to deny beauty for those who say, I hear the visions of God or of Jesus in my moments. God bless you, right? That's what others are saying. Most will say, I'm denying my soul vision because I can't trust it. That's what that says. You're here vibrating in the beauty of soul, and you're saying, I need someone else's vision to lift me up to a place of reuniting with my own heart and my own soul's vision. What's best for me? Others will place it in someone else's hands, in their minds. I hope that's giving you the desired outcome. Many do create beautiful visions with it because they're able to let go of the worries or the emotional outbursts that are often placed upon the souls of many. Okay, so this isn't about saying we're going to have an instruction video on how to embody your soul. Oh, we definitely are. That's soul embodiment 101. It's not about saying you're anything less than who you are in the moment. Not all of us are here to do the same work. Not all of us are here to have the same outcomes. Everyone wants the same outcome, right? You're guided by God. My outcome is to be in heaven at the end of my life, right? We are more than that. And so those of you who want to ride that ride and go, oh, I can definitely feel the beauty of love when I hear my soul calling out to me saying, I know you can do better than that. We're not telling people to dismiss Jesus or God or anything. And I want to say, excuse me, for those of you that know I'm getting over a cold. Brenda is indeed getting over a cold. The fact is that violence never solves anything. That's one of those cliches that many are going to start to own up to. I have my own moments of doing this work with the anger of souls that come at me and tell me that it's going to be all right. You are not less than if you have ever hit a soul before. How many people want to know what their soul would say to that? There's judgment aplenty by souls. Okay? What does it take for people to understand that the atonement of our sins, that someone would say, is about looking within and saying, why, oh why, did I let that vision out? Many of us will indeed align with the vision of I have sins, or I have regrets, or I have beautiful visions of love that I need to look at and I need to create from. Usually we are recreating a scenario that is no longer valid in the eyes of our soul. We understand that we have lessons that we have learned, that we've expanded our awareness from a soul level, and that we're here to do the work of expansion from this moment forward. We don't create vulnerabilities on the fly. So it's not about saying to people, honor your hearts, and then let that feeling of I am weak or I am vulnerable try to just dissipate in the moment. And instead, give yourself something else to focus on. I am empowered in the beauty of who I am. I am empowered in the beauty of my soul. My soul will not judge me for who I am. My soul will guide me to that higher vision. My soul will guide me to the love of my life for those who are still looking. My guide will align me with others. See, others are saying sometimes our souls are indeed our best friends. Sometimes our souls are indeed those worst enemies in the mindset of many when you go to those higher visions, okay? But in the moment, if you're in that state of I'm dealing with an emotional vulnerability and I'm on my own and I don't know how to free myself from the victim, it's not a victim mindset, but often it is, or it's just a general malaise. It's a malaise of that I'm beaten down in my mind and I don't want to create with that vision of I'm weak or I'm emotional or I'm tired. We would say find those visions of love around you wherever you can that say I'm going to lift myself up. I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to reach out on the internet. Many are doing that in the spiritual communities. Others will go to church and they will say, I need help with this mindset that I'm creating from, right? That's not what it all is. The physical energy of, it's like a mindset master can reach out and say, let's turn the page on this book to one of I am now empowered in the beauty of honesty. How about that? I'm being honest. I'm being forthright. I'm being aware of where I am in my mind. My energy may be aligning with that mindset of I am beaten down by others. I know what that's like. On a soul level, I know how to do the work to get me out of it. It's not about praying for a release. Sometimes it is. Some of us say, I just need a break from the universe. Okay, others are saying it's a universal vision of love. You would be surprised what others in their minds consider loving. Okay, how many people know that in the vision of an empath and the idea of telepathy, which is of the highest, you will often hear those visions of where you vibrate. And if you're vibrating in the vision of I am beat down, that's where you keep creating from. So we would say, let's open our hearts and minds to the nature of I don't have to stay in relationships that don't honor the need for rest or relaxation or kindness. So my kindness often comes back to me. And if I am in that vision of I am better than most, right? Some of us have that idea, I'm better than most in this attribute or that attribute. We would say, let's honor that. We need to lift ourselves up and see the beauty of who we are. Many in the spiritual paradigms are comparing themselves to others, saying, I don't have what they have. It's not about what you have or have not in your mind. We're all there creating beauty. Your talents and wisdom are all there for us to see. I think you just don't align with it yet. You see, that's where it feels good. And when people say, what am I here to do? This is the ultimate question. What's my purpose, right? Many are in that state of, I'm looking, and I don't know where I'm to find it. It's always within. And it's a beautiful expression. Most are like, I need to go find someone else who can tell me what my purpose is. But it's the nature of exploration of your own journey and finding out what left you as a child most often. Are you a gifted writer and you didn't know it? Some people come down that path and they'll say, yes, I am a gifted writer and I know I am. So where am I in that vision? Right? I am in that vision. What I lost along the way was the ability to guide through those words from a higher level of understanding. So in my mind, as I came to a place of receiving universal or soul vision, depending on what vibration I rise to, soul is all anyways, then that's when I knew I'd hit the ticket for me. It doesn't mean that any other form of guidance or love is less than. It all serves beautiful visions of I love my family, I love my friends, and I love all souls. I cannot handle being around many at one time. Those are other souls who are very much in the I feel scattered when I'm around so many people, or I'm disorganized in my mind because I can't get things cleared up in that vision of it. What that does for all of us is to say, if you need to find out more specifics about your soul's vision and where it leads you, we don't want to keep creating from the place of I'm disorganized. I don't want to keep creating from the place of I'm not empowered. So that's those mantras that we often give ourselves. Those words of wisdoms that come out on the memes are very strong. I encourage everyone to look at the self-help dictionary, right? I'm telling you, if you want to know how a soul of soul comes across to one who is of guidance, you will see those posts and those memes are directly related to the challenges and struggles that we often have even in this position. It is not a life of luxury and just eternal bliss when you go to the process of soul embodiment. You have your own visions. You have your own ideas. It's not a one-man show. We guide ourselves to that place of, yes, I'm here and I still struggle. I'm still here creating with people that I don't necessarily like. How many people know that? Right? This is common in our lives. Does it mean we take it personal on a soul level? Some of them will, and they'll say, I'm trying to align you with those beautiful visions of those who can handle the strength of your soul. That's where many will see those videos and say, oh my God, that was very hateful in its vision. Not if you understand the nature that we're not all here to act and be the same. We're not all here to have the same faith. We're not all here to have the same religion. We're not all here to have the same kind of guidance. That's the beauty. I will not discredit anyone's beauty of love, because that's where all souls are. Okay? That's where it takes people by surprise, because they think, what do you mean? You have to be able to say to yourself, I understand that someone hates me, but on a soul level, I know that they love me. They can't handle my wisdom. It's the souls that are creating havoc sometimes. Some people will vibrate in the beauty of, I've aligned myself with everyone that I needed to. Other times your souls will give you those moments of pain and anxiety and depression so that you can get yourself out of it and enlighten yourself to the nature of, I don't need to stay in that vibration anymore. It's not just vibration. There's a method of doing the vision of love from a developmental point of view. It's called soul love. And what that means is it's not about doing that vision. It's going to be a video, and it's also going to be a course of sorts that's going to let people know how to develop the skills that they themselves can use in those times of sorrow, sadness, despair, depression, because many are feeling it in my body. I get to feel those souls who are depressed. Do you want to go down that path? That's what an empath will do, right? Why do you think so many people start to align themselves with people that feel good? Okay, this is why we have to think about, do we blame the others around us for their own sins? You're going to want to have that one handed to you very fast, because we do not blame anyone for what they are going through in the mindset as a soul. We know there's more going on behind the scenes. Others will say we create everything we see. That's not exactly true. It's how we create on a collective level. Some are participants in a drama with others. That is when people start to wake up to the idea of, I'm not blaming anybody for any of their despair. It's part of the soul's vision. We're going to talk about that. Others are saying, I want to bypass soul work in order to just be free from the methodology of love. Most people don't realize love is encompassed in every single thought and vision that we create. Whether or not you accept that vision or not is up to you. Okay? So within the vision of love, I want to say this is just one of those short videos. And to end this vision of empowerment, to bypass emotional vulnerability, right? How many people say, I don't want to feel vulnerable, or I never do? How many people can say they've never felt vulnerable in their life? Good for you if you're there. Are you one of those tough cookies that claims that my vision of strength is all eternal and I don't ever have to go back there again? It's almost always less than for the souls that have done the embodiment. They start to rise out of that vision of, I don't feel weak. I just am out of alignment. So it's not a sign of weakness. It's the honesty of your current situation. Okay. So now in that vision of let's lift ourselves up and let's end this on a positive and high note, I would say for all of you that are experiencing the beauty of I'm vulnerable in this moment, I would say I honor you for that honesty and the wisdom behind it. Look at it and ask yourself, why am I vulnerable? What lesson is this showing me about who I am or where I am in my mind or in the characteristics of my mind? Some of us are a little bit more sensitive than others. And we're going to acknowledge that for those of you who say it's not just about the situations. There's more going on. But on a general and feel-good information, I would say, let's honor everyone and say, you are all doing your work beautifully. You may not think you are, but you are higher than most in your ideas if you can admit, I have my moments of vulnerability. And if you open your heart and actually tell somebody, I'm vulnerable right now, please ease up on the hate and the guilt and shame. For those of us that are feeling it already, based on the situations in which we find ourselves, or the family trees that we align with that say that that's the way we're supposed to feel. So with that, I'm going to say thank you again. Honor your wisdom, your guidance, and your love, because it's all there within your hearts and your souls. Take care and have an amazing day.